Hola, ¿qué tal? Soy David Martos. Estamos en la edición número 68 de la Seminci de Valladolid, en este set compartido entre Kinótico y Seminci. Es un placer estar aquí con los protagonistas de la última jornada de este festival. Es también la última entrevista de Kinótico en esta Seminci. Son Matthew J. Saville, el director de Juniper, y la protagonista y espiga honorífica de esta noche, Charlotte Rampling. Thank you very much for being with us today.
Thank you.
It's a
Thanks
pleasure.
for having us.
Congratulations on your spike.
Well, thank you for inviting me here to receive it. It's very thrilling.
How do you feel when they call you and say, okay, we have this award for you, it's for your whole career? How do you feel when you receive an honorary award like this?
I think it's magical for somebody to be given prizes in the, all through their, well, not all through, but in their lives, for somebody to say, we really love you and we really want to give you a prize. It's sort of one of the most beautiful things, isn't it?
Yeah, I think so.
I think so too. Thank you.
Congrats on that. So let's talk about Juniper, the film you are here with in Valladolid. I mean, is it your first feature film, Matthew?
It's my first feature, yes.
Yeah, and big star in it for
Yeah.
starting. Yeah. How would you explain the process of casting Charlotte Rampling?
I suppose, was it casting or wooing? I'm not quite sure. We had.
That's nice.
It
We like
was,
that.
Yeah. It was just knowing, trying to make a connection and meeting and hoping that she would be kind enough to come to New Zealand. And I suppose it was more about us connecting, really, wasn't it? And seeing how we could how we could work together and sort of make Ruth.
But I think what do you want to know? Was I his first choice?
No. I wanted to know.
Because that's also from a director's point of view. Does he perhaps think of the person when he's writing a story,
Yeah,
hoping
maybe
that he maybe be able to get one particular person?
Yeah, maybe that. And also, why did you say yes to a director that was directing his first feature film?
Because he came over and we talked. Because I loved the story, but I didn't know Matthew's work, and so I said, "Well, it's a long way, but we're going to have to talk about this." And so he flew over all across the world. Very romantic.
Yeah.
I did write a letter as well, kind of like a little.
You did?
Yes.
Please,
Yeah.
will you meet me? And she did, and then we spent 3 days together.
And that's what made it happen, because we really began to understand each other, understand the character, because he's a young man. Actually, the woman was older than me, because it's from his grandmother, and so we made it. We mixed it into my life's feeling and story,
Kind of
to his story,
rounded it.
and rounded it.
Yeah.
Does it generally work like that for you, Charlotte? Like, do you need that kind of process to say yes to a script when you are proposed?
Thank you. Yes, absolutely. This is why I like discovering young directors who haven't actually maybe their first feature, although Matthew's been very involved with filmmaking, but hasn't made yet the first one, because it's very difficult to do. So then I can feel that I can bring a certain experience and have a real dialogue about the understanding of perhaps where we want to go in the story. So this is very beautiful. It makes it much more personal.
How would you define Charlotte on the set?
Easygoing, authentic, and I don't know. We're Kiwis. We're a pretty relaxed bunch, and I think you kind of enjoyed yourself with us, right? And I think she came over, and we all fitted in. It was kind of a nice family. Yeah.
And I have family, you see, that's New Zealand, so it wasn't going to a strange country. My first son is half Kiwi.
Oh, okay.
I married a New Zealander, so I did know a little bit where I was putting my feet. And they're very good people. They are who they are.
Yeah. Of course.
No, there's no strings attached of wanting to be this or that. They are who they are.
And let's make the question the other way around. How would you define Matthew on the set?
Very, very focused and very sensitive. And whether he knew what he wanted to do or not, he never made anything into a big complication. It's like he was always thinking things through, and suddenly he catch this, he catch that. He maybe suddenly had a thought about this, which wasn't maybe in the script, and then he just let you feel what you think is appropriate for each scene, and then we talk about it if you thought, oh, maybe, because he was imagining maybe something different. It was very flexible and very, very understanding. Yeah.
You like the directors like that, because some directors, they are always giving orders to the actors beside the camera, and others, they let you do your job. I mean, what kind of directors do you prefer?
These kind, absolutely. This is why I've chosen a lot of films throughout my career with people who, it's the person I want to work with, the subject obviously, but then it's also the person I want to work with, because it's a very intimate thing making a film. You really need to feel that you're in osmos, or I need to feel that I'm in osmos with the sort of deep understanding as much as I can grab from it, because some people don't communicate too much in terms of their feelings, so it's up to for me to find through what I feel he needs.
Matthew, you're an actor yourself.
Yeah.
Do you think that being an actor makes it easier to understand other actors on the set when you are a director?
I think it's a good skill to have because you understand what's required, and you also understand, like I've been directed by directors that I didn't enjoy being directed by, and and sometimes I think, how do I say this? Sometimes I think good actors really direct themselves, and directors can kind of get in the way, And so for me, I want to bring someone who, like Charlotte, who grows the role or who builds on it, and I like to give people that kind of space, and then they've got parameters that they need to work inside, but I want them to give me more, I suppose, and to be creative and take ownership, and that's what I like as an actor. So I just try to create a space for that. Yeah.
When the film Juniper begins, Charlotte Rampling's character is only the grandmother, but when the film develops, we discover she was a war correspondent, and she was a really strong woman, and I think that says a lot about many women your generation that were hidden behind a cliché of being only a mother or only a grandmother. Do you connect with that idea, Charlotte?
Yes, and I feel fortunate that I've been able to live my life through without being handicapped by that, because women felt very guilty. The grandmother in our story obviously has guilt about the fact that she did abandon her family. She sent her first son to boarding school at a very early age and never knew her grandson, who she meets for the first time when he's 17, 18. And she's coming then to, actually she knows she's coming, she's coming for her own personal reasons to be able to, finish maybe her life there, but you don't really know that, and it's not important. It isn't what it is, but I mean, you discover, but she needs to make amends, actually. She needs to live the part of her life that she has not lived, to redeem it. She maybe consciously doesn't even think about that, but when she meets the challenge of her grandson, they have to break through all the difficulties, all the pain, all the non-connection they've had all these years. They have to break through that and come to something else. And that was the strength in the story. That's what I loved about the theme of the story, is how you sometimes, well, not actually sometimes, I think how you always have to try and do that in your life. Well, that's what I've tried to do, I think. Yeah.
There are beautiful scenes in the film in which there is a really strong exchange between the younger actors and Charlotte's character. And we always ask this to veterans, but I'm going to ask it again. There was any kind of advices exchanged between you? I mean, did they ask for your advice in any sense about being actors or beginning their careers, or which way should I take, or did that happen?
The young actors now are very trained, and sometimes they're overtrained. They all have coaches. They have Georges Ferrier he's been to acting school. They do an enormous amount of training with other people, with teachers and that, and so they're almost too trained. And that was the only thing I could say to him. I said, just forget all your training, just be you, because you are what we want. Because he has it in him. An actor actually has it basically in him. If he has the magnetism, if he has the gift, it's a gift, and then you develop on the gift, and you get, and that's why some are chosen and others are not, because they have it inside them. What a camera needs to take from you. So I said, just be you. you're perfect, you're so beautiful, come on, let's just have fun. And suddenly it sort of changed, didn't it, when he got to...
On that first day, I remember and then you just said something and he kind of just relaxed into it.
Yes, because if I was in his place, in the world that he lives in, because I went in a completely instinctive way to be an actor, so I just did it and it sort of worked, and so I worked on just doing it. But he was very much different now, so I was able to help him in that. I think that was
You wrote him a lovely... we got him to write George... to write a handwritten letter to Charlotte, and you wrote back to him.
Yeah, we had a written correspondence before, and that's what helped too.
Yeah.
Because he actually got into the thoughts through writing is very important.
And my last question, because we have to wrap up, unfortunately, is about this film being released in cinemas, which is going to be in Spain. I mean, that's the case in Spain. But we are in the middle of a crisis of exhibition. Cinemas are less crowded nowadays. What do you think about the future of this business? Do you think the collective experience is going to survive?
You speak first.
Absolutely.
So do I.
Yeah, absolutely.
Humans need it. It's not going to go away. It'll have its problems, but it'll always be there. I think it's one of the most magical moments you can have young people in a cinema watching maybe a film like this, even not because it's our film, but just it's about feelings. It's about us.
Comes alive.
It comes alive. Yeah. And it doesn't. It's not the same when you watch it on all the platforms. It's because you're in darkness. There's no light. There's just the backlight of the film, and you're completely in darkness, and you're learning how to live.
So Charlotte Rampling, honorary Spike tonight, and Matthew J. Saville, director of the film, Juniper. Thank you very much for being with us. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Ha sido la última entrevista de Kinótico en este set compartido con la Seminci. Tenemos el placer de que haya sido con el equipo de la película Juniper, que es la película de clausura en esta 68 Seminci. Soy David Martos, ha sido un placer estar con todo el equipo de Kinótico en esta Seminci y seguimos conectados al canal Seminci, al YouTube, al Instagram de Kinótico, primera con K y segunda con C. Hasta pronto.